It's a recording?
Yes.
So we're in Glassboro, New Jersey, pulling into Joseph Fazio Inc. It's kind of hard to find steel these days. Found this place online. They seem to be pretty well equipped, so we're pulling into the warehouse right now. See how this goes. So this is always a little bit uneasy. We're heading northbound right now on the Turnpike, and there's a trooper behind me. I'm all strapped down. I'm really secure. I'm confident about it. I kind of have a feeling he's just watching, make sure nothing's rattling around back there. But we had a little bit of a roadblock, you know, when a trooper pulls on and everybody's scared to pass. Cars are starting to pass now. Guys, speed limit 65. I'm doing right about 65. That guy's doing 67. He's pulling off now. It's always a relief when they duck off. A little bit of excitement for the journey, I guess. We'll carry on. So we are currently stopped at the Vince Lombardi service area, the Meadowlands. It's New Jersey Turnpike right there. Now, I'm not exactly happy with how this was loaded, but it kind of made sense. So they ended up bundling everything together in one shot. You can see they use this metal banding here. My initial plan was to have the 12 footers go diagonal, but because they had everything banded, I didn't want to unband it, and it would have been a bit of a nightmare. So I have these load huggers kind of wrapped around everything, holding it straight down. And then I have these lean-tos on the side, and I have these smaller 1-inch webbing ratchet straps just kind of keeping it against the guards there. Tail right there, but yeah, this banding came loose, so we pulled over. I just cranked down both these ratchet straps. We only got to make it another 50 miles or so, but all part of the fun. Made it back, all in one piece, all the materials here. See that banding is loosened up significantly. I had to tighten up these ratchet straps several times along the way, but no matter, we made it here. Unfortunately, that tarp deflector on the front of the trailer right there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit bent, a little bit scratched up. It's not going to interfere with the tarp at all, but we made it. Now I got to figure out how to fit all of this on that shelf there. So everything's a little bit precarious right now. Everything that is suspended beneath the edge of the trailer is currently being held up with this piece of wire right now. So my plan is I'm gonna transfer the weight onto this wire, let everything lower down, and then maybe I'll see if I can pull this wire forward. If not, then we'll just switch back to the other wire, but this may just let loose here. We'll see what, yeah, like that. Okay. Seemed to work out okay. Maybe I'll tighten that one up back a little bit. Loosen this one up now. Yeah. Another piece of wire up in the front that's kind of spring loading everything right now. Alright, that worked out fine. Well, it's down. I got all my toes and fingers. So if you like to play around with steel like I do, where do you get your steel from? Well, first and foremost, the best way to get steel is to keep an eye out for free stuff. Anytime somebody's throwing out something that I think I can salvage, I'll generally cut the good pieces off, throw them in my stockpile, and never hurts to have free steel. But your next option is the big box stores, but stay away from the big box stores because for a piece of angle like this, they will charge you like $15 or $20 for like a 4-foot section. So stay away from the big box stores. The best place to get bulk steel like this, especially when you're looking for larger pieces of steel, longer lengths, thicker material, you're going to have to find a steel supplier. Now, in the state of New Jersey, I looked around at several different steel suppliers, got a few different quotes, and by far the cheapest was Joseph Fazio. They have 2 locations in the state of New Jersey, and service was phenomenal. Really happy with the experience there. Great bunch of guys, and they bundled everything up, threw it in the back of the trailer. No complaints, except for a little bit of damage in the trailer, but that's not their fault. Anyway, at this point in time, I want to disclose to you what I purchased and how much it cost me. So let's start with this stack of angle. Another great thing about Joseph Fazio is you can go on their website, see what they have in stock, and you can also see if they have any bargain material that they're looking to get rid of, stuff that may be cut short or rusty, or just stuff that they can't easily sell, and that's really where I like to come in. So, for example, this stack right here, this is 10 pieces of 1¼ by 1¼ angle, 1/8" wall. Guess how much I paid for this? These are 4-foot pieces, $3.03 a piece. So in total for this stack right here is $30. If you wanted to purchase maybe 1 or 2 of these pieces at a big box store, probably would be $30 for 2 of these. So that was a fantastic deal. Now moving down the line, this 2x2 square tubing, this is 12 gauge or 0.10 wall thickness. This was also in their bargain bin, 12-foot sections. I paid $30.61 a piece, so this cost $306 for this stack of material right here. But let me tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun with that square tubing. Clearly, I had to load up on some flat stock as well, so let's start with the 6-inch wide flat stock, 1/8" thick, 10-foot long. Got 2 pieces. These pieces were also in the bargain bin because you see there's some rust on there. So let's see, for those 2 pieces, each one was $18.64. So for these 2 pieces of 6-inch flat, that was $37.28. As for the 2-inch stock, this is also 1/8" thick, 10-foot long pieces. Got 3 of those. Each one of those cost $11.13 for a grand total for the 2-inch, $33.39. And then I also got some 1-inch. For the 1-inch flat, this is also 1/8" thick. Let's see, I got 2 of these pieces, and each one of these was $4.15 for a total of the 1-inch flat pieces, $8.30. Now the rest of the steel I have here is in 20-foot lengths, and to be honest, I probably should have got all 12-foot lengths because then I wouldn't have had to take the dump trailer, could have thrown it in the back of the truck, and it makes it much easier to stow. But you know, every now and then I need a longer piece, and I don't feel like welding 2 pieces together, so it's kind of nice to have these longer lengths. Anyway, we'll start with the rectangular tubing here. I got 2 pieces of 1x2 rectangular tubing, 1/8" wall. Again, 20 feet long each piece. Each piece was $51.39 for a total, these 2 pieces right here, $102. What else do we have here? We have some 1x1 11 gauge square tubing, 20-foot long lengths. Got 2 of those. Each one of those was $32.80. So for the 2 of those, that was $65.60. And we also have some angle here. So the angle, 2x2 angle, 1/8" wall, 20-foot lengths. Each piece cost $27.15. So for these 4 pieces of angle was $108.60. So the grand total for this steel haul was $738.22. Total weight was 705 pounds. And I find that kind of comical, but it is what it is, I guess. I remember I went scrapping probably 8 years ago, and I remember hauling in about exactly 700 pounds of scrap iron. And guess how much I got for it? $16. So all said and done, for this real nice steel that I got here, I paid after taxes a little over $1 per pound. So I guess that's kind of a good gauge if you're looking to purchase steel. It seems like about the right price. If anybody's charging you higher than that, there's a good chance you're getting ripped off. If you're getting steel for anything lower than $1 a pound, I'd say you're probably doing all right. But yeah, this was a lot of money to spend, but let's face it, if I want to keep this channel going, I'm going to need some steel to come up with some new projects in the future. You don't have stuff to build with, what are you going to build? Now here's my dilemma. This is really the only spot I have right now to throw this steel. I really don't want to get rid of these milk crates. Find them very useful, but I might have to. Well, I suppose the first thing to do here is to take everything kind of off the shelf here that doesn't need to be here. Shorter lengths of steel I generally throw under the table. I'd really like to have a divider going through here. So we're making good progress here. I gotta say I'm pretty pleased with how everything's coming out so far. So these are the 12 footers. I'm a little bit concerned if I ever need to take these 1x2s out, 1x1s out, or these 2x2 angle pieces out. Well, those are 20 foot long, and they're not gonna make it past the opening to the garage door. So hopefully the piece I need is either small enough as to where I could extend it out and cut off a chunk, or I'd probably have to do a bit of rearranging, flip some of these 2x2 pieces down. I was thinking about making more of a bed here, but I think it's most likely that I'm going to end up using these 2x2 pieces, but no matter, I can always improve this. Just had to get this stuff out of the trailer. We still have a little bit more to go though. Another thing about handling this steel, you got to expect to ruin a pair of leather gloves or two, especially if it's wet out. It's kind of like a thick grease coating on that steel to help prevent rust and corrosion, which I get. I understand the principle, but just makes a mess. These leather gloves are coated in that heavy oil, grease, and rain, so I'm not sure if these are going to dry out and be all crumply or they'll be alright, but they're filthy, and anytime I touch anything now it gets grease all over the place. Anyway, this is stuff I had on the shelf, and I used to use this stuff for blacksmithing when I was into blacksmithing. Like, we have some 1x1/4 flat and a little bit of square bar. So what I think I'm going to do with this stuff, I'll probably cut this up into 8 or 10 foot lengths, and then we'll sneak that in where that 2x2 pipe sits. So we'll just sneak it right in the 2x2 pipe, the lower pieces. That way if I ever need it, I have it, and it's not going to be taking up unnecessary space, because to be honest, I really haven't touched this stuff in the past 4 or 5 years, but again, it's kind of worth holding on to. So let's cut this down. That's going to work out just fine. Well, I'm about shot. It's been a very long day. I was up at 3 this morning. We ended up leaving the house at 4:30. Anyway, I'm quite satisfied with the results here. Everything's nice and organized. It was definitely the right decision cutting down that stock into 10 foot lengths. Much easier to find, and very efficient because I inserted it in that 2x square tubing. I'm just dreading the day when I'm going to have to draw from that 20 foot stockpile. It's going to be a little bit rough. But as for that flat's really easy to pull out of here. Did that intentionally up against the wall because it made sense in terms of packaging efficiency, but that stuff bends, so if I ever need to slide it out, it's no big deal to slide it, bring it out around this point, this post, this garage door, whatever you want to call it. That is the enemy. I almost want to cut a hole in the wall right there, but let's face it, I would never do that. Look at that mess on the welding table. Wow, that's going to be about a day to sort through. Anyway, the real hero of this video are these drywall screws. There's 2 at every post. So those 2 drywall screws right now going to be holding up a couple 100 pounds a piece. Anyway, that's going to close out this video. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll catch you on the next one.